Hey, welcome to the Create a Life That Is Beautiful podcast. I'm your host, Leticia Ringe, and this is the space to be for high vibe people looking to create a beautiful life and business. Let's do this. Welcome back to the podcast, my beautiful friends. I am Leticia Ringe, your host, and as always, it is such a pleasure to be here with you all today. So today, my friends, I am in New York City in Manhattan. I'm staying in Midtown, right in the thick of things. And this is a very special moment because New York City is the birthplace of my business. So back in 2016, just before the end of the year, Lou and I decided to travel for a Christmas/New Year's Eve vacation from London to New York City. And as soon as we stepped here in the Lower East Side in New York City in our Airbnb, we were both in love. I had spent time in New York City before. I worked in a summer camp here when I was 21. However, this was the first time that Lou and I were both here together, and we both really just thrived here energetically. It really was a match for us. We felt so inspired and lit up, and it was such a pivotal time. It was the moment that gave me the motivation, the inspiration, and more importantly, the courage to say yes to my dreams, to say yes to the future that I wanted to create. At that time, I was still working in a corporate job, and I was still living in many ways that were not aligned with the way I wanted to live my life. But I was aware of that. I was aware of what I wanted, and I'd done so much personal work to build that awareness, to change my mindset so that I was even considering the possibility, and by that stage, the inevitability of significant changes happening in my life. And so it was in New York City that I decided I am committing to my business. I'm starting it, and I'm going to do something very significant to create space for the business I wanted to create. I knew that building a business was the vehicle for the future I wanted for myself. It was the vehicle for my dreams. It was the vehicle for serving, fulfilling my purpose, being me, and for having the life that I wanted to have, the beautiful life that I love, enjoy, and am so inspired by. So while I was in New York City, this wild idea came to me, and I realized if I could make a small shift, because small shifts create big shifts, something that I could commit to for 12 months to create space for my business, then this would allow me to move forward finally on my business dreams. And that was when the wild idea came to me to quit and commit to quitting alcohol for 12 months' time. Now, you might hear that and think, wow, like how significant was alcohol in your life? And here's the deal. At that stage, alcohol was a significant habit in my life. It was something that I had at least once a week, and probably more like twice a week. I used it on Friday nights and probably over the weekend, and I would drink enough that it would impact me the next day as well. So when I was looking at how I was spending my time, I realized that I spent, first of all, a lot of time socializing over the weekend, so a lot of time being around other people, which was cool, but it really wasn't proportionate to my priorities and to the amount of time I wanted to spend. And a big factor in that was the alcohol, because I would stay out way later than I actually would if I wasn't drinking alcohol. And the next day, because I was not feeling great, not feeling creative or inspired, I never ended up doing the things that I wanted to do with my free time over the weekend. So I realized that if I quit alcohol, it would create space for me. I would spend less time socializing. I would have more creative energy and actual more physical time to work on my business and to really align my life with my true priorities that I wanted to commit to. And up until that point, there was no evidence that I could do this. I had never succeeded in quitting alcohol for more than a couple of weeks. up until that point. Like, obviously, when I was a kid, I didn't drink alcohol, but from the moment alcohol was a part of my life, it was a regular part of my life. It was such a habit. I was living in London, which has a huge drinking culture. I was still in my corporate job, and so that was a huge part of like Thursday night drinks and, well, really just every night of the week. And so when I decided that I would quit alcohol for a whole year, it was like really, truly wild. No one believed that I would be able to do it. But strangely, for me, it ended up being the easiest thing I've ever committed to because I had a purpose and a very strong reason for doing it. It was creating space for the business that I knew would create the future that I desired. I knew that this business was my pathway to the life that I was yearning for. And so I knew that I needed to create space for the business. And sure enough, within 2 months of committing to that. So I decided this right before New Year's Eve. The 1st of January was my first day of it, and I didn't drink any alcohol for that whole year. And actually, I ended up extending that even further because what I got from the experience was just so vast. And so by March, the start of March, I had already quit my corporate job. I decided that's it. I'm leaving. I'm going all into building my business. And while if I was to make that decision again, I think I would do it differently because I wouldn't focus on having to leave my job in order to start my business. I would have focused on building better boundaries and more like belief in myself that I could have boundaries and ask for the things that I needed and the time off I needed in order to build my business. And the reason I say that is because ultimately I had to learn how to do all of that anyway, right? Like if you don't solve these issues, you just bring them into your business anyway. However, in saying all of that, I am so proud of the way that I did it because it's what got me here today. So as I left my corporate job, I then spent many months spinning in circles. Even though I thought that I knew all the things that I needed to do to start a business, I didn't realize how strong an obstacle my own mind would be. I didn't realize how much I would step into my own way, and it was just paralyzing. And so that is what how I ultimately ended up working with my first coach, who really helped me to build my website and move forward and have that structure. And by the end of the year, I had become I'd started my life coaching certification. I'd started working with pro bono clients. I'd written about 25 blogs. I had my website. And so by the start of the next year, I was working with full paying clients, even though I wasn't charging very much, but I was still working with full paying clients. And this is how I have gotten here today, right? It was because of these really important decisions that I made when I started my business. That year was so pivotal because it was the moment that I actually moved forward. And it all started right here where I am today. So as I am here in New York City and just loving it so much and feeling the vibrant creative energy and just reminding myself of this is where it all started, and here I am literally living my dream. Like I'm traveling the world. I get to intentionally choose all of my time. I am paid amazing money for being me and sharing my gifts and serving people and making a positive contribution to the world. I get to work 3 days a week, take my period off every cycle. I get to take 3 months off every year. I get to be supported by a team and get to give people work to do and pay them. And I get to choose every aspect of my life. And it all started right here. It's amazing. And you know what else is amazing? Beautiful. I also just last night completed my certification exam for the Life Coach School. So from the 4th of October, I will be a certified the Life Coach School coach as well, which is really cool because I'll be certified in the model. The reason that is so cool is because I became a life coach because of Brooke Castillo from the Life Coach School. The reason I decided to train with the Beautiful You Coaching Academy over the Life Coach School at that stage was because I really didn't think that I could afford the investment for the Life Coach School. However, I'm so glad that that was the case, even though it actually wasn't true, because that got me into the Beautiful You Coaching Academy. And I'm just so glad that I ended up doing the Life Coach Cool certification at this point in my career. It's been so cool to come in as a coach with experience and to be able to dissect the model in such a deep way after using it myself for so many years. So this is a full circle moment in so many ways. I'm here in New York City. I've literally just completed my exam for the Life Coach School, and I am really celebrating the incredible life that I've built for myself. And so this is a very big introduction. In today's episode, I wanted to share a little bit more about the stages in my business and what has led me to being exactly where I am today. And I also want to share that we have evolved all of our business programs to further support you with these 3 stages of your business. So I'm really excited to give you all an overview of how all of this is working today and to simply inspire you that wherever you're at in your business right now today, to keep going, because where you are right now is leading to where you want to go. Okay, so first things first, I had this realization the other day that by the end of this year, I will be over $500,000 in revenue since I started my business. And that really amazed me because so many of us want to have a 6-figure business. And when we do not create a 6-figure business within a year or within a couple of years, our mind uses that as evidence against us as to why we cannot have the 6-figure business. When I realized that by the end of this year, I'll be over $500,000 in revenue, I realized that if I divide when I started earning money in my business by the number of years that will be, which is 4, by the amount of revenue I will have made, I will have earned more than $100,000 in my business each year. However, for the first couple of years in my business, I was not earning 6 figures. And my mind tried to use that as evidence as to why I couldn't do it. So I want you all to know, and it's not because you need to make that amount of money or any certain amount of money. What I want you to know is that we don't use where we're at now and our past of what we've created in terms of our financial results as evidence of what we can create. Because once you land on a validated offer and you start growing that and scaling that, you can quickly, very quickly, create very big jumps financially. So for example, when I talk about $500,000 by the end of the year in revenue, right now where I am today at the time of recording this episode, it's in September of 2021, I am at just under $400,000 in revenue. And so this will be over $100,000 leap by the end of the year. And that is how like once upon a time, not so long ago, I wanted to make $100,000 in 1 year. Now I'm so certain, it's a matter of fact, that I'll make $100,000 over the next quarter. And it's because of how things compound and grow when we build on a solid foundation. So I want to talk about what that solid foundation is and how that is relevant to the different stages of our business journey. Because what I see too many people doing, and this is exactly what I was doing, is we want to try and solve all of the problems all at once in our business. And so we end up comparing our business journey to people who have already solved problems that needed to be solved earlier, but we try to solve the problem they're solving when we haven't solved the problems before that. And so we end up not moving forward, or at least not moving forward at the rapid rate that we could if we just solved the right problem we need to solve based on where we are in our business. So let me tell you about the 3 different phases of your business journey. The first phase of your business journey is validating an offer in your business. validating a core offer in your business, also known as a signature offer in your business. This offer is something that can be financially sustainable, i.e., support you to create a solid financial foundation for your business, is something that can grow and is something that can later be scaled. Now, some of you will tell me that one-to-one cannot scale to the business level of financials that you want it to. What I want you to know is that a one-to-one offer can scale to the level of whatever your financial goal is that you have for your business. The reason for this is when we build a really great one-to-one offer, so we end up working a process, we know that it can get results for our clients, we feel really confident delivering it, that gives us a foundation to build a more diverse business model from. So you can then turn that one-to-one offer into other offers that might allow you to serve more people at once. And you'll see that this is what I've done in my business. I worked with my clients one-to-one. I got direct feedback about what's working the most for them. And then I turned that work into group programs and masterminds and all of the things that I've run. So the first step in our business is we need to have a validated offer. Now, I didn't know this, right? Because after I worked with that first coach, who wasn't a business coach, she was a life coach, she just helped me to move forward on my business. After I did that work with her, I didn't work with anyone for well over a year, and I definitely didn't work with a business coach. It was only once I worked with a business coach that everything started changing for me, because that person got me to focus on the right things in my business, which was focusing on the right thing and focusing on my mindset. So up until that point, I did not have a focus. I had many, many different offers, and I was just trying to sell them all. I was trying to sell whatever would sell. And so that led me to diluting my focus and not being able to, first of all, figure out how could I create a financially sustainable foundation for my business through one really good offer. Now, the reason this was the right question to ask and not something else is because if I could create an offer that would create a strong financial foundation for my business, that also meant that I was serving people, right? Because if I was making money, then I was serving people, which meant I had an offer that sells, i.e. serves. When we don't have an offer that sells, we don't have anyone to use the service, right? So we're not serving people, or we're not serving at the level we desire. And if you are serving people, but it's not financially sustainable, then at some point you're going to become resentful, or the business simply won't continue to exist, right? So we need to have a validated offer so that we can have a strong financial foundation for our business to grow upon, so that we can actually serve our clients and community, and so that we create a financially sustainable foundation for ourselves personally as well, so that we can continue to work on the business and the business can exist. Now, what I was doing is instead of solving the problem, which was to focus on one offer and to build a really, really good offer and to get that validated, instead, I was trying to solve the issue of not having a financially sustainable offer by offering more things and changing my strategy. So I was trying to solve with actions. So I was like, I'll just try this, I'll try this, I'll try that, I'll try that. And while that did give me some information, I didn't stick to anything for long enough to get really good at selling it, to get really good at delivering it, to get really good at understanding what was actually in my way. Now, when you focus on something, on an offer in your business, that is going to bring up all of your mindset challenges. It's going to bring up all your scarcity beliefs. It's going to bring up all of your beliefs about not being good enough, about not being valuable enough. Whatever your mindset themes are, it's going to bring them up for sure. And that is a great thing, because that means we get to solve the actual cause of the problem rather than the symptoms of the problem. Okay, so in this case, the symptom is that our offer isn't selling. Now, the actual root cause of that problem is your mindset, but it shows up in the offer, not selling. And so what you do is you think, okay, so there's something wrong with the offer, right? Which is the symptom in this case. So then you decide to, all right, I'll just change that offer. Okay, so I'll solve this symptom. I won't give that any more energy anymore. And instead I'll go and create a new offer. And sometimes the symptoms can also be different, right? So we might say, okay, I'm going to try a different strategy in terms of like how I bring in leads to my business or how I'm converting people. And so we go and change whatever we've been using. And the problem still continues to exist. The reason for that is because we haven't solved the actual cause of the problem. We've just solved the symptom. The actual cause of the problem is most likely to be something related to your mindset. So if you don't believe that your work is valuable, then that symptom is going to show up in your offers, it's going to show up in your content, it's going to show up in your conversion and your leads process, no matter what you choose. If commitment is your issue, then it's going to show up in all of these things, right? We're not actually solving the problem, which is teaching you how to build your mindset so that you can feel safe and comfortable with committing, or how to build your mindset so that you look at yourself and you see what you're providing as valuable. So focusing on validating an offer in your business and doing that by focusing your attention on one offer is going to allow all of the actual problems, causes of the problems to come up. And that is a great thing. Now, it can also be quite challenging because you have your own mind to contend with. But what I can tell you is if you don't face these issues as they arise in this particular way, they will come up at some point in your business journey. And they may come up at a point where you really don't have the same amount of time and space to work on these issues. So let's imagine that you're one of those people who is an overnight success. Something goes viral and then you end up having all of these people in your community and they're just ready to buy, and it's this like absolute miracle, right? And so you build this business in that way, you receive all the clients, you have this like really big win, and then you start trying to scale that, right? However, you really don't believe in yourself. You really don't believe that what you've got is valuable. That was simply like literally just a viral post. It happened. It was like really an overnight success. You do not know how to sustain what you need to sustain to create a sustainable business. So then you build on a shaky foundation. Then you'll have definitely symptoms showing up along the way, and you're going to think, what on earth is happening? I had this success and I should keep having this success, but you've never worked on your mindset, right? Because you didn't have the awareness that your mindset is actually the problem. So then you're going to go out and you're going to try and solve things, and you'll probably approach it in a very similar way as the way we tend to approach it at the start of our business journey, where you might think, well, I just changed the offer, or I just need to create that viral content again. And you'll keep trying to solve with all of your actions rather than actually addressing the real cause of the problems, which is most likely something to do with the person's mindset. So it's a great thing when we focus on validating an offer from a strategic point of view, because that is the quickest way to actually create the bigger financial results that you want, because you've got to have this validated offer to grow on and scale. And it's also going to allow all of those mindset things to come up so that you can be aware of them and start doing your real work in your business, which is your mindset and energy alignment work. Okay, so the first phase of our business journey is this validation phase of creating a validated offer that can be a strong financial foundation for our business. We know it's something that serves our clients because it's been validated. It's something that people actually want to buy, which allows you to serve people. And it it has set you up for sustainability in your business because it's going to financially support you and it allows you to work in the business and therefore the business as well to continue to exist. And you've set yourself up for success because you're now aware of your mindset themes to be aware of, and you've already started to solve them. So you have this really, really, really strong platform to grow upon. And the sooner you focus on solving this problem, which is the problem to solve at this stage of your business journey, the quicker you will have something to grow on, which brings you to the second stage of the business journey. Before I go into the second stage, I just want to pause here for a moment. So in my business journey, I didn't know this, right? So I've figured all of this out in hindsight. So I kept trying to solve the symptoms, not the cause. I was working on my mindset, but I didn't focus for an extended period of time to really go deep with that. So it really wasn't until much later in the business journey that I had that realization. So this lack of focus meant that I prolonged the journey of getting what I wanted, and I also made the journey so much harder. And I made it harder in these ways. First of all, I was trying to solve all of the problems that I thought needed to be solved for a business, instead of focusing on the next problem that I needed to solve at that point in my business. So I didn't need to work out how to grow and scale my business until I actually had something to grow and scale. But I was comparing myself to other people who were further along and missed the fact that I really needed to have this strong validated offer that would serve as a strong financial foundation for my business first. I also missed that by focusing, it would actually reveal what the true cause of not allowing myself to grow actually was. And so ultimately, I just prolonged the business journey for myself. And that's totally cool because look, I still ended up here and it's what has created this amazing business and my ability to serve everyone. But if I was to do it all again, I'd do it totally differently. And that's why I teach this to you all here. Now, once we have that validated signature offer for our business that is giving us that strong financial foundation, that is allowing us to actually serve people and receive all of that feedback through the process of serving people, and is allowing us to now be aware of what the root causes are that is stopping us from the growth that we desire, we are now ready to move to the second phase of our business journey, which is all about growth. So here we have this validated offer that you're now ready to grow. You're now ready to grow a business that will allow you to bring in revenue of $100,000 each year. This is the growth phase. Now, in order to do this, we need to get even more focused in our business. Now, you might, in the growth phase of the business journey, bring in a second offer, but if you do, it will be an offer that is based on your validated offer. You don't need to bring in a second offer though. It is very simple to build a business that is $100,000, yes, even and probably especially with a one-to-one offer, as it is doing group work, right? So we want to grow this offer to $100,000, and we can either grow that one offer or we can expand it into two, but it will all be based on the same validated offer. And we want to grow your business. Now, growth requires you to work with more people, to receive more people into your business. So what we want to do in this phase is double down on our focus. We want to look at what is actually working for you in your business. We want to evaluate the results and continue to focus more and more and more and more on what is actually working in order to receive more people into your business. Now, the reason we do this rather than splitting your attention and putting on more bells and whistles in your business is because you actually need now to spend more time serving people, Okay, if you've got more clients, you need more time to serve them. In the validating stage of your business journey, you've got fewer clients, so you've got more time to spend on mindset, and you've got more time to figuring out your process and what actually works. Now we're in the growth phase. We want to actually double down on what works and get really, really focused on all of that. And we want to allow more space to actually serve clients and work with them and use that feedback to keep getting better and better and better. So this is the focus, and this is where we need to streamline our processes. This is where you might need to start hiring people on your team. This is where we're going to need more support in our business because we need more time to actually serve all of the people that we're actually serving. So the growth phase of the business journey has a different focus to the validating phase of the business journey. The problem we're now solving is how do we grow this business with the same amount of time? So now we're going to have to get more sophisticated with our focus. We're going to really need to deepen into that entrepreneurial maturity. If you want to know what that means, you can go check out the video on YouTube. We'll link it in the show notes as well. And this requires us to be just so focused, right? You've got to be really mature about it. You need to realize that if I double down and focus my attention on these things, this is what is going to allow me to move into the third phase of the business journey, which is the scaling phase. So here, our focus is to continue focusing and to double down. And we may also need to bring on support to really help us execute these really amazing processes that we have been building and tweaking and refining. If you do this, this will make scaling so much easier, which is the third phase. If you don't do this, then what happens is you end up creating systems that are more complicated for yourself, and you don't really know what your process is, and so you're always trying lots of different things. And then when you go into the scaling process, you then don't know what's actually working for you and your business, and you may not have the support, so you don't feel safe to really open up to supercharging your financial results and therefore the amount of people that you're actually serving in your business. So typical problems that I see people face at this phase of the business journey is that they just want to get the results as soon as possible. They've got an offer that's selling, so they start to try and do really fancy things, right? They want to create really complicated funnels. They want to put money on Facebook advertising. They want to put in really complicated systems and processes. They want to maybe start expanding their offerings and offering a million different things. And what this does is actually just create more work for you, and it doesn't let you reveal what your process is that actually works. So what we do is we start to build a mess on our strong foundation. It's like we cover up the strong foundation, the jewel, and we put all of this mess and mud all over it. So now we don't even know what's working anymore, and we also do not feel safe enough to actually open up to more in our business. So a lot of people at this stage of the business journey end up really, really busy, right? They're really, really busy because they're trying all of these new hot things. And again, they're comparing themselves to probably business owners who have multiple six-figure businesses or seven-figure businesses. And they're trying to implement those same strategies when those business owners are solving a different problem, right? Because they're at a different stage of the business journey. And what we don't realize is that if we actually solve the right problem at this business journey, which is to grow and to be able to grow by focusing and refining our process and building, bringing on that team support to help us with the execution of all of this. If we don't do this, then that's just going to create big holes in our business when we scale. So even if we do end up bringing in more clients, maybe it's one of those situations where we have a sudden really big win, and then you have all of these clients to receive, but now you actually don't have enough time to deliver the service to them or to have a sign-up process that really works smoothly, or maybe you just now feel so overwhelmed because there's just so much work to do, and so that leads you to maybe quitting or just blowing things up intentionally or unintentionally, and then that creates a whole host of other problems. So what we want to be focusing on here at this stage of the business journey is the problem that needs to be solved here, which is really having a process and a system that is working and is so refined and that allows you the space to be able to serve your clients in the best possible way. When we solve this, you're going to feel comfortable and safe to move into the third phase of business. And you're not going to have these big problems blowing up in your face because you have taken a long-term approach to your business. You know that you're going to create an amazing, sustainable, highly financially rewarding and lucrative business. And so you know that that's what's coming. So you're going to prepare for what's coming so that it's not a really difficult transition, but it's one that's easeful and one that you're ready for. So when we do this, we then allow ourselves to be ready for the third phase of our business journey. And we also allow ourselves to hit our financial goals, right? Like a lot of you have 100K as a financial goal in your business, and that is so attainable. And this is the way we do it. It is through focusing on solving this problem at this stage of your business journey. Once you're at 6 figures in your business, this is, as a general rule of thumb, a really great time to now think about scaling your business. Now, if we've focused on solving the right problem, by this stage, we have our systems down pat. We know what works in our business. We know exactly what leads to sales in our business, what leads to community growth in our business. And so now it's all about scaling that, right? And so what we're doing here is focusing on how can I now expand my focus? And that is usually in the form of reaching new communities. Like we move from having that single focus and really being focused on like the one platform, the one offer, this very, very focused way of doing things. And now we're like, how can I bring this and put this in more places? So here you might end up trying other platforms. You might end up putting money behind what you know is working in advertising. You might end up building more automated processes so that you've already built, you're building from something that you know works. And as part of that automation, it could include building funnels and things that help to automate the process. You might expand your team and bring on more experts so that you're not doing all of the work yourself. And these are the focuses of scaling. So see, the problems we're solving here are quite different. Now, what so many people do is, before they're actually in the scaling phase of their business, they compare themselves to people who are in the scaling phase of their business. And so they look at what people are doing who are scaling and they say, I need to do that too. So we have people putting advertising, like paying for advertising, working on complicated funnels and other really advanced marketing strategies, or even hiring too many people in their team because they're looking at what people who are doing here in the scaling phase. But what they don't realize is those people have a validated process that is working for them. So in the first phase, we have a validated offer. In the second phase, we are really validating all of our processes for growth. In the third phase, we are building on those validated processes and we're building systems to allow us to serve more people, to welcome more people into our business. And so what we're focused on here is different. But if we earlier on start putting money and a lot of our time into complicated marketing strategies or to reaching new audiences, but we don't actually have systems that work, then what's going to happen is we're either going to have too many people that we can't actually serve because our delivery process isn't good, or we're going to have a lot of people coming into our funnels but not actually converting because we don't know how to convert them, or we're going to have a lot of like time spent on trying to attract new people into our network, but because we don't have a leads process that actually works, that ends up all being a waste of our time. So you don't want to create more problems for yourself in your business. You're not going to have time here. Instead, you want to have systems that are all working, that we've established in the growth phase, and now in the scaling phase, we're then focusing at the right time on actually scaling what is working in our business. In both the growth and in the scaling phases, what will happen is that you will also notice that those mindset themes that were coming up during the validation phase of your business journey will also come up in new and exciting ways in the growth and scaling phase of your business. And because you know that there's nothing wrong with that, you expect it, you've worked on this, you know that you'll continue to look at these issues and to do the mindset and energy work, you are well versed for this challenge. You know that all it requires is for you to continue seeking mindset support and doing your daily work to align your energy, to align your mindset, and that will help you to keep moving forward. And this, my beautiful friends, is how we create incredible multiple six-figure businesses with ease. It is through being where you're at in your business, focusing your attention on the problem you need to solve at the right stage of your business, and then when you're ready, moving to the next stage of your business and focusing on solving that problem. If you try to do this all at once, I promise you will not solve the problems because you will be so distracted and so overwhelmed. Business is something that compounds. It's like compound interest. So if you solve a problem, then you're just going to now compound that solved problem. And if you don't solve the problem, what we usually do is just keep starting over, starting from scratch. So we actually have nothing to compound. You don't want to do that. You want to build on what you've built throughout your business journey. And we do this through recognizing that our business is a long-term journey. We do this for recognizing that we need to solve the right problem at the right time. We do this by recognizing that mindset and energy work is going to be a constant practice, and that when we are inside our own heads, it's very difficult to see where our mindset limitations are. And that is why we work with people. It's also really important to realize that community is so important throughout this very long business journey, because for most of us, we are solopreneurs. And even if you're not a solopreneur because you've got a team like I do, there's usually only one of you who's making all of the final decisions. And that is a lot of responsibility to have on one shoulder. So giving yourself a community with people who understand what you're feeling and who get it and where you can go and talk about these issues with is so important for both our mental health and also the sustainability of our business. Also, when we have people to look at like what they're experiencing during their business journey, it really helps us see more clearly what actually works for us. When we're looking at ourselves, it's really hard to see all of those details. So I also want to mention that community is really, really important as you build your business too. Okay, so I know that this overview will have been so helpful for so many of you, and also will give you permission to stop trying to solve everything all at once and solve it in the quickest amount of time, but to actually give yourself the time and space to focus very intentionally on solving the right problem. And like, it just needs time and space to do that. It just needs your focus and your attention, and you will do it. It's just a matter of time. So give yourself that. Okay, so let me now talk to you about how our business coaching programs are now evolving. So we now have 3 programs that will meet you exactly where you're at in your business journey, at the validating phase, at the growth phase, or at the scaling phase. And each program will give you the personalized coaching support that will help you with your mindset and with your strategy as you execute solving the problem that you're here to solve at that phase of the business journey. It will give you community, and it will give you a long-term container and partnership that you can upgrade at any time. So here's how it works. We now, instead of having just the holistic business mistress mind, which we were serving people who are validating, who are growing, and who are scaling, we now have 3 programs. The first is called Validated. The second is called the Holistic Business Mistress Mind. This is for you if you're in the growth phase. And the third is called the Holistic Business Council. This is for you if you are scaling your business. Doesn't matter which program you're in, all programs now will require a 12-month commitment. Now, I know that you all want the quickest, fastest way of creating the results that you desire. And so we all love shorter term containers.
What I have realized is that this is not of highest service to my community. And the reason for this is this. Even though my clients are creating really incredible results when we work together, the Mistress Mind, for example, is a fantastic container. It has done just so incredibly well, regardless of where the person is on their business journey. At the end of working together, you then need to decide whether you would like to continue working together. When we've just had really great results in our business, you'd think it would be a no-brainer to continue. However, that's not always the case. And it's because of a phenomenon that I have experienced many times and that my clients experience too. And this is called the inevitable contraction after an expansion, otherwise known as our upper limit problem. So once we experience really incredible results and we start seeing our processes working, the mind catches up to speed with that expansion and it starts to think, oh wait, I can't handle all of this. I can't process all of this. I need time to integrate. Hands up if you've ever said that to yourself. Now, what if we didn't need time to integrate? What if we trusted that we could handle the results that we have created, that this is our new normal, this is just another day in business? What if we came at it from that energy and focused on compounding upon what we've already built instead of this stop-start energy that keeps the mind safe? Now, listen, taking a break is totally fine. If you want to take a seat back on your business for a couple of weeks, or you actually want to go on a vacation, go ahead and do it. I'm all for sustainable business. I take 3 months off every year for that exact reason. But that doesn't mean that I stop and start my business. When I take time off to integrate, actually, my business is still growing because I'm allowing it to do so. What we do when we're contracting after an expansion is we literally come to a halt. We literally stop because our mind is so scared about all of the growth we've had, and now it's got time to process it, and it's like, hey, let's go back into that comfort zone. So what you might find is if you're in this contraction after an expansion energy, it's like you've just grown a lot, and so the mind wants to slow you down so that basically you're still growing at the rate that you were before. It's just now you're taking a really long break. And so when we take this stop and start energy, then we also lose our momentum. We lose this being our new normal. And so then we've got to build that up again. And of course we don't lose it all. We still have some compound interest. But what if we didn't stop? What if we were still energetically all in? This is our new normal. Okay, I'll take a week off, maybe 2, but then I'm back to it. This is where you want to be at as you keep growing in your business. And so this is the reason why I've decided to turn all of our business coaching container programs into 12 months of support. I want to remove this stop and start energy from the way we're supporting you all. I want to remove decision fatigue by redeciding whether to continue on after we close our containers. And so I feel that 12 months is a really great amount of time. It's going to feel really spacious. It's plenty of time to solve the problem you need to solve. If you need longer, you'll just be able to continue working in that program, and you'll be able to upgrade to the next program at any time, which means as soon as you've solved the problem that you need to solve at that stage of your business journey, you can then upgrade, and it can be within the 12 months to the next business program. So we'll be able to support you for the long term based on exactly where you are in your business. You will always have our support. You'll have the community, you'll have personalized coaching support, and you will have all of the information and resources to solve the right problem at the right stage of your business journey. And I think that this is just so incredibly cool, and I'm so excited to give you all this support, which is why I really wanted to share just the whole what is going on in my head as I make these changes for you all. Now, what else is really cool is that also the price points for each program reflect exactly where you are in the business journey to make it more accessible for everybody. So Validated is a lower price point to the Holistic Business Mistress Mind, which is a lower price point to the Holistic Business Council. And how we've been able to structure it in this way is that each offer becomes more intimate, right? So there's going to be fewer people who are in the Holistic Business Mistress Mind versus who is invalidated. And there will be even fewer people in the Holistic Business Council versus in the Holistic Business Mistress Mind and validated. This allows the price point to be lower and more accessible based on exactly where you are, and it also reflects the level of support that you actually need at that stage of your business journey. Now, I know so many of you want shorter term containers. You just want to get in and do the work and quickly get out, but I have to say that it's really not serving you in the highest possible way. And so this is why I've made this decision to now only offer these 12-month containers in terms of offering coaching support in the business. Now, I know some of you are going to think, but what about my time off? Don't I need to make the most of every single call that we have? And I want to tell you this. First of all, I will still be taking 3 months off. And I will be building this so that it feels very free for me, so that I can take the time off that I actually want. And so the way that we've structured it is that when I am having time off, if we are due to have a call during that period, then you will either have support from a special guest who is going to be an amazing business owner who'll be able to coach you and also provide an alternative perspective, which will be so valuable to everyone, or we will simply be taking some time off. So it depends on which program you're in. They're all structured in different ways. And we will simply evolve them so that they support you in the highest possible way. So as the offers grow and as we deepen into them, if we realize that we need more support to support you all, we will just do that, right? If we have more people, for instance, invalidated and we feel like, okay, we need to up the amount of coaching calls that we do, or we need to bring on more assistance for you all, we'll just bring that on. The offer will grow with the people who are in it. And if in our Holistic Business Mistress Mind and in the Holistic Business Council, if we feel like when I'm taking my time off that you need to actually have more support so that we're not just taking a break and you've got someone there supporting you, then I will simply bring on that support for you all. Whatever we need, we will have that support there. So I am so incredibly excited about this. I know that this is going to, one, serve you all so incredibly deeply in the highest possible way that I can serve you. And it's also going to allow for long-term relationships between both you and I as you build your business, so that I'm an actual partner in your business. And you are going to make some really deep connections with the other people who are in these containers, because we're all there for 12 months, right? And hopefully longer, right? Because the way that I want you to see investing in your business journey and bringing on a business coach is that this is something that you just always have for your business and for you. Because in order for you to show up as a CEO that you need to be working on your mindset. You need to have that person who has understanding of how to coach you in terms of your mindset, and also who can help you with the strategic aspects of business. And that is what I'm providing. And because I have a very a unique approach to business, which is holistic, which is utilizing the masculine and feminine energy, the strategy, the mindset, the self-discovery, like the life and business coaching, the human design, the menstrual cycle. Did I say masculine and feminine energy? Like all of these amazing things, it allows you to take a really grounded approach to your business, something that will set you up for long-term sustainable success. And I'm just so excited to work with you all in this really, really beautiful, long-standing way, because I'm interested in working with people who want to lead in this industry. And so those people are committed to being in this industry. And so for you, long-term support is going to be something that you really see the value of. Okay, my beautiful friends, I am so excited to have now shared the details for exactly what we have received and been working on behind the scenes. And I'm just so excited for this to now be out there and to start moving forward on these 3 amazing programs for you all, which have been so successfully validated over all the years that we've been really working in this format. So if you would like to know more about joining one of these programs, what I invite you to do is take my business assessment. Go to leticiaringe.com/assessment. If you've taken it before, you can take it again, and we will come back to you to let you know which program seems to be the best fit. Or if you already know what that program is, feel free to send me an email at leticia@leticiaringe.com and let me know, hey, I want to join this program, and we'll give you the details. We are going to be starting all of these programs in the next month. If you're listening to this episode later on, we're also going to have other entry points throughout regularly. So just get in touch as soon as you're ready. The best time to have support in your business is right now. So don't delay it. Come and get the support. You'll have 12 months to work on solving the problem you're here to solve, and we can support you right now. So why not? All right. So just head to leticiaringe.com/assessment to take that assessment, to give me the information about your business. We'll then come back to you with the most appropriate program, and you can go from there and sign up, and we cannot wait to serve you and to help you move forward and create the business and future that you are being called to create. All right, my beautiful friends, I'm going to leave it here. It was so great to share this story with you, an overview today, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Bye.
Hey, if you're ready to create your very own purpose-driven business too, I invite you to check out my online program, Create Your Beautiful Biz. You'll learn how to create a business that allows you to make your difference and thrive. Just head over to www.leticiaringe.com/CYBB. Let's make creating a business beautiful. I'll see you there.